So anyway, we will turn our attention now to the Jackal. Here he is, Josh Juhasz, taking on autopilot Shaun Storry. Shaun, the marathon man from the World Championships, made the Masters final, semis to the World Championships, all in the space of 4 days of mammoth races to tens and all sorts, just non-stop pull for Shaun, and the stamina taken to do that is just incredible. So this will be just a little short sprint for him. Just a little race to 8 in 50 minutes, Mark.
Well, the other guy that had a very good World Championships, who's also playing in this pro event, Eddie Barker, we've just seen on the other stream table coming through 8-4 against Shaun Chipperfield. Seemed like he's carried on from where he left off in Ireland. Will it be the same for Shaun Storry? Do you think sometimes those long tournaments where you really play yourself in, if you get into some good form, they can just be great because you're playing so much pool? See, conversely, if you're not doing very well, they can seem like a pretty long 10 days, struggling to keep up. Josh Juhasz, one of those players that kind of slips under the radar. There was moments earlier on in the season where we were saying he was sort of like a promising up-and-coming pro. He's reached a semi-final already on the Pro Series, so he's more than an up-and-coming player now. He's really starting to establish himself.
Well, he's beaten Tom Cousins twice this season in the opening rounds. I mean, you know, you've been dealt a bit of a blow to keep getting Tom, but then to keep beating him as well is, you know, he's really improved in this last 12 months as the Jackal. Josh, he's been, you know, from what I call, you know, what I considered when I first saw him playing a good few times, you know, a good professional. Was he going to go deep? I didn't think so. And then all of a sudden this form's come out of, well, obviously hard work and practice, because it certainly, you know, it wasn't a flash in the pan. He didn't just beat Tom Cousins in a one-off. You know, he beat him again, and then he started running deep into the tournament. So really is a man on form. Lovely shot as well there.
Yeah, got caught between the options there. I wasn't sure to play that to the middle of the corner. Played it well. Yeah, it's got to give you a lot of confidence, hasn't it?
Just that little shot there, you know, just coming around the back. It just he's just found another level. You know, he's moved up to a different plateau now, a different tier. You know, when you see him come to the table now, you think he's a danger, proper danger. And he believes in himself.
Well, that's the thing. When you start beating players like that and it starts to become a talking point, people are congratulating him on some of those big results. And then he started sequencing together that semi-final run a couple of events ago. That's got to give him a lot of confidence. That's been a slight weakness, hasn't it, for Tom Cousins? The first round matches. He's won a couple of tournaments, but he's lost in the first round a couple of times to Josh. He's lost in the first round today to Zach Cooper. It's been that's been costing him ranking points at the top of the list. Shaun Storry finished the first season of Ultimate Pool as high as number 2 in the rankings, so he's well used to being a prolific winner on this Pro Series. Seems to be back to close to his best form, judging by that World Championship and World Masters performance.
Yeah, proper battler, Shaun. Very good break as well there from Shaun Storry.
Yeah, he's a player that doesn't really care what situation he's in a match. He just fights on. He can get into some really messy situations at times and never seems to let it get to him. The red on the right side rail, he can puts the ball to the right centre at some stage. You can drop on that one up the rail, and then that links to the one just to the left of it, to the left centre. So it's actually quite a good path, even though there looks to be a bit of congestion.
No, it's fine. He just rolls through now. Can roll that in, other red in the left centre, and he should be home and host. You'd get these, Mark, wouldn't you, from there?
You'd hope so. Well, probably not, but you'd hope so.
I'd back you to get them.
The fact that a lot of the top seeds have gone out already. We've talked a bit about Tom Cousins, Stevie Dempsey, Craig Waddingham. Definitely opened up the draw for other players like Shaun Storry, who are sort of in that crowd as a likely tournament winner.
Yeah, well, you've got Dsy Declan sat in there, and you've got 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 still battling away as well. Is he not? Is he gone?
Just lost to Eddie Barker.
Well, well, well. Nobody told me, because I was over here with the medal. You were doing that, weren't you? Why didn't you tell me? You've come over here. No information whatsoever, or you just kept it to yourself. That's ridiculous. Score.
8-4.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, we'll take that one back.
He timed it very well as well. He completed that win just as the 6-row shootout was starting, so we were able to bring our viewers on that stream the bonus coverage of the 6-row.
Well, well, well. Was he good value, Eddie? I must have a question because I didn't see it.
He played very well. Shaun gave away a couple of chances. I mean, Shaun actually played very well in fit. He took out one amazing clearance at the beginning. It just seemed to... Eddie just had more chances. He was just really solid, to be honest. It just looked, you know, really top professional performance. Just took the balls from where they needed to be.
That over 50s world title he's got under his belt now. Done in a world of good.
Yeah, I was chatting to him just before this. I mean, he's saying he just had such a good week in Ireland. Won the World Team Championship, semi-finals of the main Worlds, and the over 50 title. Just a very fun week, obviously. He was also, he was saying he was sharing a room with Giuseppe D'Imperio, so between the two of them, they won all the silverware in their room.
Wow.
Meanwhile, we see a very surprising miss there from Shaun Storry.
Well, if these are the franks, if you steal these, it's like a massive kick in the stomach. Just have a look at some of the matches just taking place at the moment. You've got Zach Cooper for all his good work and beating Tom Cousins this morning, 6-4 down to Carl Morris. Ben Doyle and Rob Chambers, 7-7. Callum Singleton, 7-7 with Jimmy Croxton as well.
Been a lot of deciding frames today. That was a misjudgment from Josh Juhasz. Should never have been leaving Shaun another shot at these balls. Early missing that clearance.
Yeah, I'll just run through a couple of scores on the other stream tables. On table 2, you got Dylan Leary's trailing Declan Brennan 3-0. Very smart start there from Brennan in this match. On table 4, we've got Simon Fitzsimmons is 2-0 to the good against Dom Cooney. Other matches around, Jaden Billingham 2-2 with Liam White. Phil Harrison 3-1 up against Phil Parkin. We have Christy Caulfield trails John Chambers 3-2. And the other match, Chris Day leads Rob the Whacker Warren by 3 frames to 2. Zach Cooper's got one back at 6-5 now to Morris. And that has you up to date with everything going on in the pros.
There's a lot going on, isn't there?
There's a lot
going on around the venue.
Of course, we'll keep you up to date with any those results, especially those ones that are on the Hill match there with Rob Chambers. Nice break from Josh. He'd just rather not had that red ball come down and park itself in front of the yellow there, just below where the balls are at. If they weren't there, everything was absolute drops.
What he needs to do is keep this tight, Josh Juhasz. He doesn't want to be giving Shaun easy chances. That miss in the last frame was careless, having been given a second chance. Well, that looks a bit unlucky. Can you still see the ball to the middle? Touching ball, that doesn't really change much. Can't do anything with the ball that he's close to either way. He would like to be able to keep the clearance going by cutting the ball to the left centre. Assuming you can see the potting angle. So another chance goes begging. Shaun Storry gleefully approaches the table. That's a good shot. Knew he was going to have the ball to the bottom right corner, just helped to open up that one to the middle. The ball to the furthest left, that's the one that's going to require the most attention. May just sneak past the yellow into the bottom right corner, so may be able to drop in behind it. Well, we're not going to find that out because he's now knocked both of those balls out of the way. The one that he's cannoned over to the left side cushion did have a pocket before. It's a more difficult positional shot to get on it. Does he play the cannon again here? Yes, he does, and he's played it really well that time. Isn't guaranteed to be on any other ball other than the one that he was cannoning, so try to play it in a delicate way. So as it happens, come up far enough that he could take the ball to the right centre as well. Not perfect for getting position now on that ball on the left-hand side.
I can tell you just quickly, Jimmy Croxton has won a one-frame decider against Callum Singleton. He goes into tonight's draw, and he will play Chris Melling later this evening. Melling will want some revenge. Jimmy's done for Chris once this season at Bolton at the Tour. So that's an interesting one for later on tonight.
Yeah, I think I was incorrectly saying earlier on that there's only going to be 2 matches played today. There is one more round, so there's the last 16 round that gets underway at 8:45-ish.
Yeah, we're switching to the women's, aren't we, after this one? Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got one Women's Pro Series match and then 2 matches on this table from the last 16 of the Pro Series. Wasn't really the route that Shaun wanted to go there.
No.
Just got himself in a position where he just couldn't land on the ball on the left-hand side cushion. If he'd been able to drop in from behind it, it would have been an easier shot. The double was never guaranteed from where he was. So Jeff Juhasz, good chance now. Ought to be able to play with more freedom. He's beaten some good players. He's had a deep run this season. He's kind of ticked off most of the things that you'd want to do. I should tell him that he belongs in this company and look to press on from there. The slightly unusual cue action in that he leaves the cue tip a long way from the ball when he's feathering it. A lot of people take the cue tip right up to the cue ball. Doesn't look quite so natural, but it's a very effective technique he's developed. percentage shot there. Didn't try and get too close to the 8 ball. Just left himself a comfortable shot.
Nicely done, Juhasz in the end. 2-1 in front against Shaun Storry.
Not been the quickest start. It's not been slow, but it's taken 13 odd minutes to play these first 3 frames. A view there of this beautiful arena, the Wigan Robin Park Arena. Saw a big crowd collecting around the table for the Melling 6 red shootout. We know we're going to have some big crowds in tomorrow night once we get down to the finals. Coming over to the other side of the table to break this time. So he's lining up his trademark power cut break.
It's a really good break once again from Shaun Storry. But just, wouldn't you know it? The yellow ball comes up, lands plumb on top of the cue ball.
Pretty harsh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that point. The cue ball's in miles of empty space, and then that yellow just sidles up to it.
Yeah, he's got 3 reds off the break. No rewards for Shaun.
Trying to play in behind the 8 ball.
Played that very well. Lovely touch there from Shaun. Just seen if he can see the thin edge of this yellow. I'm not sure he can. If that's the case, he's going to have to come cushion, hit the ball, and then still find another cushion.
It's an open table, but what he doesn't really want to do is just leave Shaun in amongst them.
No, exactly.
So he goes for the pot and makes the pot. Good shot, that. There's nowhere really safe he could leave it. The only safety shot was to possible.
Well, he's got to split this yellow and red apart on the left-hand side. He's going to try and have a little go now. How's that worked out? He's okay, because he must be able to see the yellow at the bottom of the table. Just getting the cue ball back out. Yeah, that's good. That is fine.
Taking these balls well. Good chance to go 3-1 up. One of the things he's done really well this season is to adapt to playing in these conditions. He just doesn't look phased playing out in the main arena.
Right, he's just had to run this in and play the double. There's no other way. There's no point trying to punch around off these cushions. At this point, you're 2-1 up. Run the yellow in. Leave yourself dead straight into the 8 ball, so you can just play the double straight into that left-hand centre. Bit of concern there. He thought for a second he missed that, but that's absolutely bang on. Nothing to do with the keyboard. Just hit this middle of the white, middle of the black. In she goes. Nicely done, Josh Juhasz. 3-1 now to the Jackal.
Good clearance that. 2-frame lead. Not comfortable, but it's a good start to the match. As we've seen earlier on, a 3-frame cushion isn't necessarily enough.
Cole Morris on the hill against that Cooper, 7-5. Ben Doyle and Rob Chambers are still locked. Hill. They've been going a while. There must be a bit of a scrappy frame going on there. Chris Day, 4-3 against Rob Ward. Christy Caulfield trails John Chambers, 5-2.
Yeah, there's a couple of players who've had a good season.
Yeah.
Christy Caulfield and John Chambers.
Simon Fitzsimmons, 4. Dom Cooney, 1. White, Billingham, 3 each. Harrison, Parkin, 4-2 to Phil Harrison. And Leary and Brennan are locked at 3-all. So that 3-0 lead that Brennan had has been eaten away by his fellow Northern Irish international. And that's where we are. Can't believe how long that frame's gone on. Ben Doyle and Rob Chambers.
Yeah, we were talking about that quite some time ago, weren't we, when we started it?
Yep, that's been there a while. You can only imagine the mess that table must be in over there. That's out on table 7, which is out on the other arena, so it's not on the stream.
Big frame coming up for Josh. Good chance to go 4-1 up. Shaun just sat in his chair, kind of motionless at the moment. It's just
there's nothing he can do.
Not getting enough chances right now.
No. I mean, you've got, Josh is not a textbook player. He's more of a, will I say maverick? No, I wouldn't say a maverick, no. Just a bit more unorthodox than, you've got players like Declan who have started at snooker and then, they come into pool. And, Josh Juhasz is a pool player. You can tell the way he stands like a pool player, cues like a pool player. I'll tell you what, when he's in full flow, he's easy on the eye to watch. His shots are he's got some very clever shots in his locker. So if you can cut this red into the bottom right, 𝗃𝗏, if you can just flick into that yellow next to the black ball, half ball, and land in between the other two reds, that would be nice. Not playing it. Well.
Oh, well, that's a result and a half, isn't it?
Thank you.
Trying to play it the other way around, pop the other one and set that one up, but it'll do. Well, and now the fact that the ball is hung over the left hand, not the right hand pocket, makes it easier to get the position on the 8 ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's had a right result. There is the Jackal. He's come, I'll tell you what, he's got a little bit too far, really. I mean, this has got to be. What sort of weight do you actually? I'll tell you what. Do you know what? I think I might go into the 3 yellows.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. Do you play to miss the black and cannon the ball above it?
We can hit all 3. Just push them all out of the way. The black ball. Ugh. I know what Shaun will be thinking in his chair. That's justice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. just too full of contact on the first yellow.
If he hadn't come that far, he could have just dribbled it in and played black into the bottom right. But here we are.
This isn't in a great spot to get it moving.
Oh no. Oh. Well, another big slap round the face for Shaun Storry. And I can tell you that match is finally over. Ben Doyle, Rob Chambers, and it's Rob Chambers who's beaten Ben Doyle 8-7. So he is through to the last 16. Yeah, so what a, well, a bit of fortune, to say the least, as he smiles and raises his eyebrows there, Josh Juhasz. I mean, as finishers go, that's right up there with, well, naughty man.
Well, it's just such a tough one when you're sat in your chair watching that.
Well, you think a bit of justice as well, and he's just been able to see enough of the black ball to play that cross double, and a really, really good shot. But Shaun will be feeling a bit aggrieved at this moment in time. Once again, a great break from Shaun Storry. But he's not taking advantage. Always hung it. What's he left, Josh? Well, you look at it. You look at it and say, well, it's a tricky yellow there, but if you're Josh Juhasz, you look at it and think, well, all I've got to do is get rid of that tricky yellow and I've got a chance here. That's the way I think you have to look at these sort of opportunities. You could try pick it out, but it's not very easy. He's gone to do it. Oof.
It's a pretty good effort, actually.
Yeah.
It's quite a tight angle to come in.
You try and kick it out, but it's not very easy, but he nearly got there.
He's got to take advantage of that fluke in the last frame. I mean, it was lucky.
Well, he has done.
Yeah, well, yes. It was lucky to win that frame, but you know it's going to be playing on your opponent's mind. So if you can just keep him sat in his chair. Well, so 2 goes now at getting that yellow out. It's still not in a great spot.
So you think he'd have taken a long plant up there? I think he is, you know.
I mean, I can see his thinking here because it's very hard to get on, and actually it's not. It's a makeable plant, even though it's difficult. It's okay, I think. Ooh. How close was that?
That's the time when you just really want to be allowed to kick the table.
Well, and actually, he's even then he's been kind of lucky, because if there's only one ball there, it becomes an easy loss of turn. But the fact that the other ball has ended up obstructing Shaun's red as well. Shaun try and play a cannon into those 2 yellows now off this shot.
I'm just looking at that angle. If he can get past that yellow that's in near the middle bag. I think he can probably just squeak past it.
Well, it looks like he may have to just play a loss of terms. He's just looking at, not now obviously, but the ball is queuing past. Does he think he can play this as a combination?
Yep, he's dead straight on it. So what he's got to do, pulls the white back 2 inches, just plays this, so he wants both of these balls same shot, it'll be on the black.
It's not the best angle, but the thing that is helping him is that ball is so far in the jaws of the pocket, he doesn't have to push the red through too far.
No, should be okay here. Yeah, played it well. And this is a big finish from Shaun Storry, and he's had to pull out all the stops here. Yeah, nicely done, Shaun Storry. Didn't need that. Things were just starting to get a little bit sticky for Shaun. Dug himself out one there.
Yeah, that was a potentially messy little situation he was in. Not just in that frame, but in the match as a whole. That's what he does, though. Talking earlier about his battling quality. He's got to be fancying this weekend. He's shown a lot of glimpses of good form recently. Feeling much more comfortable as he sits in his chair than he would have done before that frame. Still behind in the match, though.
Great break there. Needed it badly as well. Get the 2 yellows at the top. Very nice.
Just over half of the match clock used up now. His technique is a combination between quite unorthodox and quite orthodox. He does some things that...
He's got the cue ball under complete control.
Yeah.
It's just his, you know, his stance, and he rocks a little bit as he cues, but that's fine because, you know, you don't all have to be textbook Aaron Davis. He cues to, you know, to the side of his chin. There's plenty of them. We've got so many different styles, but the main thing is they know how to get the ball to the pocket, keep the cue ball in complete control.
That is a good feature to have of a cue action.
This black for 5-2. And 𝗏𝗃𝗃 the Jackal picks himself up after losing the last frame, and a nice tidy break and out as our referee Dean Winter collects the reds. and gets ready to set the balls up for frame 8.
Looking the more likely winner right now, but we still haven't seen a ton from Shaun Storry. We know he's going to have something to say about it if he gets enough chances.
Say it's still 7-6, Carl Morris and Zach Cooper. Chris Day 6-4 up against Rob Warren. John Chambers 6-4 against Christy Caulfield. Simon Fitzsimmons 5-1 to the good against Dom Cooney. Liam White and Jaden Billingham 5 each. Out there in the main arena. Phil Harrison 4-3 up against Phil Parkin. And Dylan Leary is now taken at 5 in a row against Declan Brennan. 5-3 there after Brennan's 3-0 storming start.
Surely we're not going to lose yet another top 8 seed.
Well, I'll tell you what. Where'd you put your money on the winner? You know, because Declan at the moment, you know, the number 2 seed, and you got to say the big favourite to win this event now. Chris Mellon obviously sat there in the draw. You know, the players that are into last 16: Christophe Lambert, Rob Chambers, Joe Prince, Eddie Barker, Josh Kane, Chris Mellon, Jimmy Croxton are all through.
The other man that's through is the one you were talking about earlier. Rob Chambers did complete that win over Ben Doyle. A very long deciding frame.
Yeah. Yeah, some very interesting matches out there, very tight. Could we have a debut tour winner of event 7?
Yeah, we've had one first-time winner, haven't we, this season in the form of Cole Bedford. Not a Pro Series event, but at a Pro event, the British Open. We've also had a few first-time finalists. That's of Christy Caulfield, John Chambers. 3 finals in the case of John Chambers. It's been kind of quite a good balance this season, actually. It's been spread around between a few first-time finalists and a few big names.
Carl Morris has put out Zach Cooper 8-6. So Houdini is through into the last 16. And he will take on Christophe Lambert later tonight. And the last match of the last 32 has now gone to the table, which is Sean Sharkey and Rab McCulloch. So everybody is now in action.
Yeah, Rab McCulloch's another man that's had a good season. Finalist the last Pro Series weekend. Coming up short in the end against John McAllister.
That's on table 3 as well, the Sharkey McCulloch game, so you can watch that one.
Well, that's a cannon Shaun Storry could well have done without.
They're the ones that are available to watch. Simon Fitzsimmons and Dom Cooney's on table 4. And over on YouTube, you've got Dylan Leary, Declan Brennan, table 2. That is 5-4 now. Declan's pulled one back. That does have commentary with Nick Finn and Luke Terry. They are guiding you through that one. Or you might want to stay here and see if Josh Juhasz can get over the line against the very steady Shaun Storry.
Not looking quite as steady as usual.
No.
By that positional shot a moment ago.
And that is pretty much perfect for Josh. One thing we know about Shaun, though, is he has a never say die attitude. It's not, there won't be any flags, white flags or so being waved over in Shaun's corner.
No, that's for sure, but he's going to have to dig pretty deep because it looks like he's in danger of going 6-2 down here.
In goes the black ball. Juhasz now 6-2 up.
Been good value for that lead. I mean, maybe slightly flattering lead. Shaun has.
He's had that one fluke, isn't he? Which obviously hurt Shaun. You know, when he tried to put one ball and cannon the other in, and then half snooked himself on the black ball and still potted it. So that was the one really that stands out. But apart from that, he's played pretty well.
Hold himself together for that final push now. Just get the 2 remaining frames.
Declan Brennan back to 5 each with Dylan Leary. Harrison Parkin 4 each. Liam White, Jaden Billingham 6-5 Liam White. John Chambers 6-5 against Christy Caulfield, and Chris Day 6-5 against Rob Warren. Loads of tight matches out there. I think we're going to see some hills and some nerves jangling in that arena tonight.
Yeah, it's been a day of tight matches and of top seeds going out. It's been the common theme. Okay, done without that. Wasn't a bad break apart from that. Yellow ball potted, but also followed by the white. Actually, that was a bit unlucky when you see the replay. It caught a rather awkward glancing blow. So this is a absolutely ideal chance to begin the comeback for Shaun. Got to keep your opponent frozen a couple away from the winning post if you want to get back from a big lead like this. Whilst Josh is on 6, Shaun's going to feel like there's hope still in the match. Trying to pot the red nearest the pocket there, trying to leave a plant. Might just be able to get through still.
Wonder if he's just trying to play it off the yellow in the middle as well, just lick it, because it would have opened the pocket up for the black ball as well, give it an extra pocket. But he's okay.
So reroutes, get back into prime position.
I just think if he had played off the yellow, again into that centre, it makes his finish so much easier. That helps. In fact, that helps an enormous amount. So I think you can just drop this in the middle now, leave an angle just to maybe screw straight out of there and onto the black into the bottom left. Even if he can't, he could come back and have it at the bottom, but he's playing that now. So we're going off the top rail and back down, or are we going to just screw straight across? I think I like off the top rail. Yeah, very nice.
The fact that he had all that space to play with, that two-cushion shot, then you're coming along the line of the shot.
(6-3). Shaun Storry not going quietly away into the sunset. Gonna stay and fight. That's what's in that man's makeup. He's a battler, all right.
Yeah, it's kind of a good reputation to have, because your opponents become more scared of having a big lead against you. Still got to get another 3 frames back, but got to start the comeback somewhere.
Yeah. Phil Parkin is just edged ahead of Phil Harrison 5-4. Brennan is now 6-5 up against Dylan Leary. So he won 3 in a row, lost 5 in a row, and then he's won 3 in a row again now. So that's going to be little patterns. Dom Cooney's got a couple back against Simon Fitzsimmons. That's 5-3 to Simon. And Chris Day is on the hill against Rob Warren, 7-5.
So having got one frame back, Shaun to break in the next, try and keep that little run going.
Let's make another ball. So the 8 ball will come back up, but Shaun will go away from the table because nothing else is made from that break.
Yeah, it's an interesting rule, that, isn't it? On one level, it makes total sense because you're saying you just ignore what happens to the black and you put it back. On another level, it feels odd that you pass a ball, but it's still classed as a dry break.
Yeah, there's a lot of fors and against in that topic.
The easy starting ball's the yellow, but he really wants to be reds.
Great pot. Very solid. You just saw your opponent just win the last frame as well, and it'd be easy to get tight on that shot.
Well, especially when you're taking on that kind of shot when you've got an easier shot, it sometimes adds a bit of extra pressure, but he played the right shot and he played it well. Good angle to go around the back of the ball to the right of the one he's potting.
Nice control. Left herself on the cushion. She's going to have to roll this into the top left. Push the cue ball forward a bit and then play the next red that's near him into the right hand centre. Has he left himself a bit too much angle there? I think he's okay. We can just drop this in and come off the rail a little bit. You don't want to leave yourself cushed up playing the next shot. Friendly bump.
Yeah, that could have been a bad nudge, especially touching that side of the ball. It's all turned out fine, though.
So this black ball puts Juhasz on the hill. 7-3. Well, well, well. The Jackal can do no wrong.
The season of giant killing continues.
Phil Parkin on the hill against Phil Harrison. 7-4. Well, he nearly went in off in the middle, and people got stopped from going in off in the bottom corner, but he's not made a ball. But just looking at that, he doesn't left an awful lot for Shaun Storry. Chris Day is into the last 16. He has beaten the whacker, Rob Warne, 8 frames to 5. We'll keep an eye on what Simon Fitzsimmons is doing. I'll let you know the outcome of that frame. And I can tell you, Simon Fitzsimmons completed that finish. And he is now on the hill against Dom Cooney, 7-3. So the bounce are going well.
Meanwhile, over here, nobody fancying going for a clearance, so seeing a bit of defensive play. Generally, you only do this so much. There comes a point when eventually you knock all the balls into places where you can't just keep getting in behind them.
Another player on the hill. They're all going to be coming through at once here. Liam White 7-6 up against Jaden Billingham. Phil Parker's done well to come back. He was training Phil Harrison. Now he's 7-5, which I said before, but he's lost in the final of a tour event this year to Shippy up in Bolton. Brilliant final as well, if I remember rightly. He was one of the best.
Yeah, 2 ultimate pool finals now for Phil Parker. He's another one of those players that's kind of established himself now. He's gone from being a contender to somebody that can really properly mix it.
I enjoy watching Phil play because he pulls out an array of ridiculous shots from time to time, because he does put himself in some... It reminds me a little bit of myself when I played in my early years. That you think, how have I just found myself over here? When you just completely lost the cue ball and you happen to play some length to the table, crazy double or a silly thin cut and pull out a daft finish. And he's great at doing that. And so he is, for me, his box office is Phil the Power Parkin. Shaun Sharkey, an early lead against 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗃, 2-0. That was one that he's lagging a bit behind. That's on table 3, so you can actually watch that one.
Well, here the clock approaching the 10-minute mark, which is what that chime is in the background. So we'll now be down to a 15-second shot clock for the rest of the match. Well, it keeps going, but this is looking a bit awkward now.
Well, 5 players on the hill. Jackal is one of them. Can the Jackal be the first one out of all these players that are sat there waiting for one more frame to get into the last 16? Is he going to be the first one out of this little bunch?
Well, he's got a decent chance now. He managed to find a gap through to the ball over the pocket, so he's now bumped out the most difficult ball. Ooh.
Oh, that's
turned out okay.
It's not bad at all.
When he hit that yellow, you felt like he could end up stuck, but actually it's turned out quite well.
Oh, it's going to cut. Oh, I'll tell you what. How about that?
Yeah, there was a moment that shot wasn't looking too promising, and then suddenly found the gap. So one more shot to play in this clearance.
So does he come back or does he go forward? I think he's got to just screw to the top of the table, because even if you landed right on the bottom cush, or top cush should I say, you will have a shot at that 8 ball. I'll tell you what, has he gone too far? That was careless. There was no need to try and drop in that gap. He could have gone all the way back. Look at the area he's got to land in. Anywhere from top rail all the way to that yellow.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the gap to play for, is it?
Big mistake there from Josh. You know full well, if that's Cousins or one of those, that they come all the way back. They play the percentage as Liam White is over the line against Jaden Billingham, 8-6. Shaun Storry, life in him yet. I know he's trailing by 4, but he must start to get a move on and get some finishes on his side of the scoreboard.
Well, if Josh just screws a few more inches back, the match is over and he's through to the last 16 rows now.
But acres to land in as well.
Giving himself unnecessary heartache. And this match isn't completely done. Obviously, it's still very one-sided, but everyone can get this back to
if Chris can do it in 3 minutes and 58, but that is, he's an extra special talent when it comes to finishing racks of pool balls in silly times. As good a players as there are out there in our professionals, you know, you'd only say there's only Melling, Chippy, there's maybe that's it really that can play at that sort of pace and take out those finishes.
Well, without it impacting their game, like some people can play fast, but they start playing worse. Whereas with him, if anything, he was actually getting better as that match finished out.
Shaun Storry is not going to give up the ghost. Not a chance. 7-4 coming right up.
This could have been Josh Juhasz's, just had to screw back a bit further. So 6 minutes 10 on the clock. 3 more frames minimum required for Shaun Storry. All results still possible from here.
Sharky 3-0 up against 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏.
We couldn't see another comeback, could we? What Shaun Storry got to offer.
He's got more time than Chris Mellin had by just over a couple of minutes.
Yeah, there definitely is enough time for 3 frames. It's just whether he gets the chances. That's the first one, though. He's going to have a shot. Oh, well, you can't believe that, and that could be very costly. That match clock is wrong, incidentally. It seems to have added on a bit of extra time.
Just a bit.
Just taking a brief pause. The referee's just checking the correct time. We'll just get that reset back to how it was supposed to be. That of itself doesn't change anything, but that miss from Shaun Storry, very costly. Was in with an okay, not an easy chance, but an okay chance.
Well, we know we're around the 5-minute mark, aren't we, left, I think. At the start of the frame, I think it was 6 minutes and 10 seconds at the start of the frame. My memory serves me correctly.
Painful moment this, because having just missed, Shaun's now got to sit there and reflect on that miss.
Hill Parkin over the line against Phil Harrison, 8-6. He's into the last 16.
Well, the clock's starting again at 8 minutes. Was it as much as that?
That's incorrect. I know that's incorrect. It was 6 minutes and 10 seconds at the start of this rack. So that is wrong. 100%. That is way wrong. They've made a big error there. We were only talking about it. I said that Shaun Storry had an extra 2 minutes to Chris Mellin. So that's wrong. They've got that wrong. And do you think I'll tell them after this? Answers on the postcard.
I think we'll have to hope that it's academic and Josh clears up and that's not a fact.
Yeah, because that is wrong. Well, he really should. If he can get through to the yellow, which he must be able to because he'd have already pulled a face, that this should be over and it will be academic then. And let's hope it is, because we do not want to go down an avenue of controversy. So, these 2 balls for Josh Juhasz. I don't know how they've got it wrong, mind. This isn't easy. Yeah, he had the room there to get that right behind that black ball. This for the match.
And it's down. Good performance in the end from Josh Juhasz. Shaun Storry battled his way back into that match, as we always knew that he would, but ultimately didn't get enough chances and couldn't find an answer. Josh Juhasz yet again battles through against the top seed. He wins that match and books his place in tonight's last 16. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll grab a word with our winner.